All right, today we're going to be doing factoring polynomials. We're going to be doing three methods here, and in class we're going to learn the last two. Now, these three methods are the same methods we use for quadratics, so they are not new. There's going to be kind of different types of problems that we haven't seen before. So the first one, factoring polynomials. The first method is factoring out a GCF. We always do this first. So every problem we will do in this unit, we will always try to factor out the GCF first. So our example here is, excuse me, 6x cubed y plus 4xy squared plus 2xy. So we've got these three terms here. We're looking for what they all have in common. So first look at the numbers. We've got 6, 4, and 2. All right. Between 6, 4, and 2, the GCF between those two numbers is 2. So I'm going to factor out a 2. All right. Then you look at the x's. We've got x cubed, x, and x. Well, all of them have one x in common, so we're going to pull out an x. And finally, we look for the y's. We've got y, y squared, and y. So they all have one y in common, so we're going to pull out a y. So my GCF here is 2xy. Now we're going to go through and actually pull that out and divide by each of it. So when I pull out a 2xy from 6x cubed y, I get 3x squared. From 4xy squared, I get 2y. And from 2xy, that would be divisible, and you get 1. So this would be my final answer. All right, so like I said, we always do GCF first. Always, always. The next method is factoring trinomials. All right, this is what we spent most of that quadratic unit doing. Factoring trinomials, we will do this when there are 3 terms. So our first example here is 3x squared minus 12x minus 15. So it has 3 terms, so we're going to use this. And the method we use when we factor trinomials is the guess and check method. That's when we have our parentheses. You do those 2 times and those 2, and you kind of guess and check to see what happens. All right, so first off, check for GCFs. I've got 3, 12, and 15. I think all of those have a 3. So my GCF here is 3, so I'm going to factor out that 3. I get x squared minus 4x minus 5. From there, I'm going to make my parenthesis. X and x. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiplied -5, but somehow combined to -4. And I know that 5 and 1 are the only factors of 5. If I guess and check, I've got 5 and x, which is 5x. And x and 1, which is just x. I can make that into -4x by making it a -5x and a positive x. So negative and positive. So my final solution will be 3, x minus 5, x plus 1. All right, let's try another example here of guessing. We've got 6y squared minus 5y minus 4. So first, check for GCF. I don't see any GCFs this time around. All right, so we're going to go straight to guessing and checking method. So what I'm going to ask myself first is what times what gives me 6y squared? Well, automatically I kind of think of 3y and 2y. There's also 6y and y to consider if this one doesn't work out. Up next, I'm going to think about what times what gives me 4. Now, I could say 2 and 2, but the issue with saying 2 and 2 is, you notice in this parenthesis, see how it has a 2 right here and a 2 right here? You can't have a parenthesis that has a GCF in it, so it can't be 2 and 2. So I'm thinking, well, maybe then, instead of doing 2 times 2, I can do 4 and 1. So I'm going to say 4 and 1, and we're going to guess and check and see how it goes. 4 times 2y is 8y. 3y times 1 is 3y. I'm trying to get -5y. So if I make the 8 negative and the 3 positive, that would give me -5y. So negative, positive. So my final solution would be 3y minus 4, 2y plus 1. All right, the last method that we have talked about is difference of 2 squares. You use this method when you see two terms and both of those terms are perfect squares. Now, perfect squares are like 4, 9, 16, x squared, x to the fourth, x to the sixth, so on and so forth. With this one, our first example here is x squared minus 49. So with this, you make your parentheses. And you're asking yourself, what times what gives you x squared? That's x and x. What times what gives you 49? 7 and 7. I'm sorry, my dog is currently coughing next to me. All right, then you make one positive and one negative. And that would be your final answer. Okay, example number 5 here, we've got 16 minus 81y squared. All right, there's no GCF here, so we can go straight into making our parentheses. All of those terms are perfect squares. You've got 16, 81, and y squared, all perfect squares. So 16's up first. What times what gives you 16? 4 and 4. What times what gives you 81? 9 and 9. And what times what gives you y squared? Y and y. Make one positive, make one negative. And we are good to go.